Hello, this is Vincent Salzillo from Double Exposure. I'm here with Frank and Dan DiLorenzo from R&R Games, and they are here with a special treat for everybody tonight. We're going to be talking about Italian cooking and all its various forms and how gamers enjoy that Italian cooking. So I might add in a few things. For those of you who know me, I actually do have an Italian background, but I'm going to let them run this particular conversation. And with that, Frank, Dan, take it away.
You're not going to participate? Come on.
I am certainly going to participate, but I want to see where Dan is leading us first.
Oh, Dan, I think, has some stuff he's cooked for us.
Well, I didn't understand the extent of your camera work, so I have pictures of things I've made recently.
Are they scratch and sniff?
No, but so, when you have friends over, for me, friends are about your gaming and your talking, and for as Italians, probably one of the most sacred moments is sitting around a table eating food
and talking like this.
And creating that food is just as much fun for me as it is to eat the food with the people that I care about. So I think Frank does this more than I do, but I do have a couple of days a year where I make a big spread and I have people come over. But I think Frank and I eat totally different. We have similar tastes, but he likes to cook extravagant dishes, and I cook in Italian. What you say, cook come la contadino, which is the farmer. So it's a very simple way of cooking. A lot of the dishes are dishes that were made by the peasants. Because they didn't have a lot of things to eat, but in their simplicity, they have a ton of flavor. So what
little fact, contadina, the brand, actually is from that word.
That's correct. Yep.
Pat Casey just typed, so many Italian guys, makes an Irishman nervous.
We love
Pat,
that.
You're an honorary Italian with us.
There we go.
So for me, what I like to do is when I have friends over, I know that they don't get things that I grew up with, and it's second nature. So I make fresh bread. I make a very quick, simple sauce.
When you say fresh bread, how are you making it?
From scratch.
I make it from scratch, yeah.
In a bread maker, or you do it in another?
No, I do everything by hand.
Okay.
I do everything by hand.
You don't cook it by hand, so.
No, but your hands to put it in the oven.
Yeah.
So I do have recipes to share with people. I don't know where I can put them, but I can get them out there. But
just tell them. Just start telling us how you do it. That'd be awesome.
So, literally, I can make all of this stuff in less than 4 hours, and that is
in time for sure.
What? I can't hear what you're saying.
I can do it in less. Name that food tune, whatever.
Yeah, but mine's going to come out good, and people are going to enjoy it when they eat it. So
what's mine going to come out like?
I don't know. I don't know how long. I don't know. I wouldn't need less than an hour to use a can opener either, Frank.
Celebration. You were here for New Year's.
No, I said you
that was a feast of Italian food.
You enjoy making extravagant feasts. I do not care to do that, and I've done it with my children and my family in the past, but I prefer to make simple fare. So
Pat Casey says he's honored, by the way.
What?
Pat Casey says he's honored, by the way.
Well, I meant that. So to start off, if you know you're going to have some people over, you want to make some bread and you want to make some pasta. Ooh. So again, I like a very simplistic bread. I don't like anything fancy. A lot of people in this pandemic, it was actually a trivia question on, I think, either Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but what's the most popular bread that's being made in the pandemic now? Do you guys know?
Sourdough.
I thought it was sourdough too, Frank, but the answer is actually banana bread.
Oh yeah, I've made it.
I don't think many people don't know how to make sourdough bread.
It's not hard. But
Yeah, I know, but if you don't do it exactly right.
not me, but my wife has made a ton of banana bread. There is like banana bread coming out of our ears. And I'm the one eating it all.
Yeah, so that has been a phenomenon where people are making more and more bread because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And again, for me, I like a very simple bread. So I basically I throw 4 cups of flour. I take about 2 packs of yeast in warm water and I dissolve it. I put about 3 tablespoons of salt. And I mix everything together and I knead it by hand.
For that amount of flour and water. That's like double yeast. Very big, airy bread.
Yeah.
I like it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you knead it.
For all my uni friends, that's all.
So anyways, you knead it until everything is nice and dry. You can add a little bit of flour as the kneading process goes, but what you're looking for is the dough to come off your hands and to start sticking with it. And the trick to kneading it is using the inside of your palm. So you're basically pushing it into the table and you're pulling the mound of dough away and rolling it back into itself. And you just keep doing this for about 15 minutes. It's a lot of exertion, but
good exercise.
It's good exercise, comes out real nice as a nice solid ball. So then I throw it in a container. I have a bucket, a plastic bucket, and I put a towel over it, and I throw it in my pantry closet. And I let it sit there for about 90 to 120 minutes, okay? So now I start my pasta, and basically I tried to come up with, I've been making pasta for so long, I kind of just eyeball it, but so I actually made some today to kind of measure everything out for people.
I was going to ask you a question here. No salt in the bread?
No, I said 3 tablespoons of salt.
3 tablespoons? Holy cow. All right.
That's a lot of salt.
That's a lot of salt. I use 1.
So I make a mound of flour in the center of the table. So you can take generally 2 cups would work for this recipe. And I make a volcano in this mound. So I create a mound in the center of the table.
This means something. Yes.
What's that?
This means something.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I make a volcano. So I create a crater in the center of my mound. In there, I put 3 eggs, and I slowly mix the eggs with a fork and flour. And then I add 3 tablespoons of warm water, 2 tablespoons.
What Frank is doing is making sure that anybody who is hard of hearing,
I know the procedure.
Dan, yeah, that's good. Okay.
All right. So then I put 2 teaspoons of salt and I actually throw in 2 teaspoons of olive oil in my pasta. So I stir everything up, and I don't want to break the outer rim of the crater. I want to keep all the liquid material in there.
No lava will flow down the mountain.
Yeah, you don't want the lava flowing down the mountain. And I'm slowly pulling in with the edge of my fork more and more flour from the outer edges. And then you just do the same thing. You start kneading it. You're looking for a nice solid consistency to the pasta when everything is kneaded together. And it's going to take, again, another 15 minutes of really hard kneading. It's going to, when you make pasta, if you wear rings, take your rings off because the flour and the egg is going to get in between everything.
Right.
So just keep kneading, and before you know it, if you keep a nice pace, you're going to form a beautiful pasta ball. Mm-hmm. And I put that in a container. Generally, I put it in a glass container, a lightly floured glass container. And I put it in the same pantry closet with a towel over it. Only needs to stay in there for about an hour.
You didn't refrigerate that.
What?
You're not refrigerating your pasta.
Nope, I don't refrigerate my pasta.
I will always refrigerate it.
Yeah.
I will also point out that your hand method is the age-old method, but you can also use a Cuisinart, not even a Cuisinart, just a KitchenAid to mix it all together. It does a wonderful job. Saves you all that kneading.
Yeah, but
So-
we're talking about the old ways here.
Yeah, the old way.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have
Yeah, the old way.
I mean, if you don't have a KitchenAid and a Cuisinart, I actually have them. I have two pasta machines. I don't like them. I like the consistency that I do on my own.
What's a pasta machine?
I have an electric one that.
The one that just slices out the spaghetti strands? Or?
No, that's a pasta cutter. That's
Oh.
a pasta cutter. I have that separately, but they have machines where you can throw the ingredients in and it mixes.
Oh, okay. I see.
Never does a good job. You know?
Yeah, so I don't like those, and we have a Cuisinart like that for making pasta either. I just like it with my hands.
Sure.
I prefer the KitchenAid. Yeah.
So I leave it in there for an hour. Now remember, you have your bread in there as well. So the bread's already been sitting in there for about 15 minutes.
And it's pretty angry. Yeah.
No, they're happy. It's warm. It's toasty. They're covered with a nice blanket. Yeah.
It was ignored, and all it's got for a friend is pasta.
Oh, no. There's all the other pantry ingredients that are in there. Yeah. I have the beans, the sausages, the salamis are in the pantry.
Yeah.
So no, there's plenty of company in there.
It's a party really in the pantry.
Yeah.
They're all
So-
wearing masks.
I do take one of the things to do in this first hour when I'm kneading and working up a sweat is I'm drinking wine and I'm listening to music. If friends are over, we're chatting, and that's the fun part is when you have people over and you're just chatting and they're like amazed that they see you doing something with your hands. And
Sure.
for me, it's really quite simple to do it with my hands, and I really enjoy it. So after the pasta has kind of dried out in the pantry, I do put it in the refrigerator for 15 minutes before I start to cut it. Okay. So let's go back now to, let's talk about how we're going to finish the pasta. So you can buy a pizza cutter, which is a machine. It's 6 by 9 inches square. And it has a roller and it has 3 rolling attachments, and you can run the pasta through it to make either noodles. What's that?
Call that a pizza cutter?
No, pasta cutter.
You called it a pizza cutter.
Called it
no.
a pizza cutter. I'm like, what's he talking about?
No, a pasta cutter. I apologize. So, and I do use
Ralph
that.
says he's very hungry right now.
It makes it. No, I had a bolognese sauce tonight with some nice noodles. So
Really?
Yeah.
I had mushroom tortellini with a brown butter sage sauce.
oh yeah,
I
like
think we're getting
My
off.
favorite elevated. But far simpler as well.
Yeah, but again, I'm talking about it's a very specific meal that's quite easy to do. And honestly, I say on the outset of 4 hours, but I can do it much quicker. But
Andy says, what happens if you try to cut your pasta with a pizza cutter? Now we need to know.
well, actually, I have that in the thing I wrote up. Is sometimes when I'm trying to hurry, I roll out my pasta. And now here's something that's important. You're going to take a small ball of pasta. So you're going to have the pasta dough that you made. You're going to take a small ball of it, maybe, I don't know, a 3-inch ball, okay? You're going to put it on the floured table, and you're going to roll it out with a rolling pin, okay? But here's the secret that's important. When you do pasta or when you do pie crust, you're going to only roll it away from you. Never roll it back and forth.
And why is that?
Well, you're going to create heat and friction, and that's going to ruin the quality of the pasta. All you need to do is roll it away from you to stretch the pasta out, okay? The mistake that a lot of people make is they go back and forth with a rolling pin,
Right.
and that is going to destroy your pasta.
Because they all watched I Love Lucy.
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the rolling pin away from your chest and then turn the pasta ball a quarter of a turn and keep doing that until you've made a nice wide circle of pasta at whatever thickness that you like.
Right.
Now, at this point, you can cut strips to run through your pasta cutter. But what's also fun sometimes, because I like thick noodles.
I have a question. Wait. So you are doing this completely by hand with a rolling pin rather than putting it through the pasta machine that will make a perfect thickness for you?
Yeah.
I always use the machine to get the perfect thickness rather than, rolling it out. I just literally take a chunk, throw it in the machine.
No, I do that most of the time, Frank, but I have showed friends that you don't need the pasta cutter to do this.
No, you don't. Yeah,
You can do it, and this is how
Pasta roller.
When we were kids in Italy, this is how our grandmother did it. She didn't have a pasta cutter.
Frank may have been asleep during that time.
I wasn't even alive during that time.
So, all right, so this is the alternative if you don't have a pasta cutter. You roll it out to the thickness that you like. You want it thin. You don't want it too thin where it's going to break apart, but you want it thin so that you can pick it up and handle it.
Specific pasta, or because I mean, don't you need different thicknesses for different pastas?
Yeah, but again, I'm just talking about making noodles, just simple, quick noodles.
Fettuccine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the official Italian word, noodle? Is that?
Fettuccine is more broad, but
That's probably better. By the way, Pat Casey says he's got a lot of frequent flyer miles. He's just throwing that out there.
So now once you have it rolled out at the desired thickness, and again, what's important here is you don't want the edge of the pasta to be thicker than the middle of the pasta. You really want to be, very
uniform.
Yeah, uniform consistency throughout.
One of the pieces there is you got to be very careful to apply the pressure with the rolling pin completely the same on both sides.
Yeah, and that's why you do short, quick outward motions. So then you basically are going to cut it in strips, and you can roll it up. You can roll the strip up, and just take a knife and just cut it, and there you go. You have your fettuccine. Okay. You cook it in boiling water, salted boiling water. I usually cook it for 6 to 8 minutes, depending upon how I like it. As soon as it's ready, I drain it from the water and I put butter on it. Okay. So I put a great deal of butter, probably a tablespoon or 2 of butter, and stir it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're going to get the bread back out. So the bread is risen after about 120 minutes max. It might be ready.
Doing buttered fettuccine here, or do we have a sauce?
I actually made a sauce too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
you're going to have bread with fettuccine. You just don't want buttered fettuccine. You're going to need a sauce to sop up, right?
I sometimes like fettuccine with nutmeg ground over it and cheese.
Sometimes fettuccine just with butter and grated cheese is...
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. But if you're going to use the bread, you want a sauce. So.
Oh, sure.
Well, again, if you put as much butter as I do, there will be butter sauce. In the bottom.
I love butter.
Butter the bread.
Yeah, I put a lot of butter in my pasta.
Double duty.
And the reason you're putting butter on your pasta is you don't want the pasta to stick. So you drain it of all the water, and you immediately put some butter in the bottom of the pan and stir it around, and then put the cover on. But this is now where you have to learn your timing, because it's all about timing.
Right.
I have it down so I have everything come out at the same time. So when the bread comes out, I'm going to be cooking my pasta, and then everything will be ready within minutes at that point. So I take my bread, and now I push it down. It's risen in the container that I put it in the pantry. I take it out. I now knead it again for, probably 2 minutes. And here's how I make my bread. And I like individual portions of bread. We call them panini, all right? And this recipe, the 4 cups of flour, will make an awful lot of these. But these can be frozen, and they freeze nicely for about 3 weeks. And you take them out, the ones that you need each day, and you take them out at noontime, and by supper time, they will be ready for you to eat, okay? So I make a little ball, again, probably a 3-inch ball of pasta, and I do it by taking the dough and flipping my hands inside with my thumb and bringing it around to make like a mushroom on Mario Brothers or something, okay? And I put those little balls on a floured cookie sheet, okay? And I make 2 trays. So
why are you flouring the cookie sheet?
I lightly flour the cookie sheet so that when I'm ready to take them out of the oven, they come right off.
Okay.
You don't need to do it, but I'm a very light flour on a cookie sheet is nice. Now, I make a series of balls. I make generally 12 to 16 on a sheet. I take a pair of scissors and I cut them in the middle, and then I make a crisscross on the top of each roll, okay? This allows the bread to expand during cooking and let some air out, and it's going to make your little panini a little bit airier.
All right.
I then cook it at 415 degrees for 30 minutes.
415.
15. Yeah.
Okay.
415.
415.
That is correct.
Because he's discovered that 425 is just too hot for his bread.
Apparently. I will use 425.
So you can use 425 and you can use 400. It'll come out good in all temperatures.
How long are you cooking them for?
I cook them for 20 minutes and then I rotate them. So for a total of 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does the rotation do?
You're basically, when you rotate them in the oven, you're basically ensuring that they're going to cook evenly when you rotate the
Wait. When you say rotate, I'm thinking rotate horizontally. You're saying...
No. I put 2 trays in.
Right.
Okay. I cook them for 20 minutes. I have one on the one level, the high level, and one on the low level.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not what you said. Okay, that's fine.
Right. We didn't get that.
Yeah. So that's what I do. I rotate my sheets, total of 40 minutes of cooking. You look at it, I mean, sometimes they come out sooner, but usually on average, mine go 40 minutes. Okay. If you make smaller balls, they don't need to cook that fast. And what you're going to get is you're going to get a little panini that is going to come out with a nice, firm outer crust, but a real soft
Pillowy
interior.
Okay.
But with texture.
Yeah. And again, they're personal size, so you can, you eat one, or if you're like most of the DiLorenzos, you eat 6 or 7 at a serving.
Of course.
Because they're just, when there's nothing better than hot bread coming out of the oven. It just is.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's my bread. Now, I showed you how to make my pasta. Now I'm going to talk about how I like tomato sauce, okay? So for me, I like thousands of different types of sauce, okay? And that's the beauty of Italian cooking. It's you have a base of something, but you can make it so varied, like risotto. I mean, I love making risotto, but I can make risotto probably...
He just likes saying the word risotto.
I could probably make it honestly, I've probably made it 15 to 20 different ways regularly.
But what is your favorite sauce?
What?
What is your favorite sauce?
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm going to talk about. Again, I'm showing you how to make something fresh, simple, and very quick and very easy. So you've made the pasta, you've made the bread.
Quick to you, Frank?
No, not at all. Wait 3 hours for the bread to rise.
He's manipulating
90 minutes
with his fingers.
But, it takes time to make good food.
He's introducing them to the pepperoni. I mean, this takes time.
No, that was just the part.
Honestly, if you think about it, we've gone no more than 2 hours at this point.
Sure.
Okay?
And it's worth it.
No, I get that. I'm just going to say that Domino's is 30 minutes, but that's okay. Let's continue.
If I could reach through here and stab you in the eye right now to say that my cooking is like Domino's.
If I could reach through here and stab that meatball behind you, I'd eat it.
Yeah. You should have had a fork graphic.
Okay, so let me be clear. I always have a stock tomato sauce in my freezer, okay? So I can pull out a true stock sauce that I've made, and then I can just create a variety of different sauces.
Right, so how far back are you going in the creation of your
Before.
sauce? Are you crushing your own tomatoes, or your
tomatoes came from the garden?
Right.
They used to come from the garden.
Yeah.
So do I make my stock that way? Yes, I do. But what I'm going to teach you tonight is how to make a very fast and quick tomato sauce.
What I'm saying is, what is your base? What is the absolute base ingredient that you have? Do you crush your own tomatoes, or do you buy actual tomato sauce in a can?
No, tomato sauce in a can?
Seriously?
That's what I'm asking.
No, I actual real tomatoes, Vinny.
Okay.
Wait, so you're telling me that you make always your sauce only from fresh tomato?
Yeah, I buy them by the bushels.
Really?
Okay.
And never any other way?
What are you talking about?
You must make it another way because you can't be making it fresh from tomatoes every single time. It's a lot of work.
Frank, when I make my sauce base, which we're not talking about tonight, I'm going to show you an easier way. I make a giant pot of this much, and it gives me 16 bottles that I freeze, and that's what I use for my sauces.
With fresh crushed tomatoes in it.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. That takes 4 to 6 hours to make on a Sunday. Okay.
I have never actually made a sauce from fresh tomatoes, so that's something I'd like to try.
It's actually really simple,
Yeah.
and it just is time consuming. You have to let the tomatoes boil down.
Sure.
But it's delicious. And then you, like I say, you put them in a jar, you throw them in the freezer, and then they're good for up to a year.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of people I meet when they come over and they eat with me, they are already stunned by the bread and the fresh pasta.
Done.
Well, they're petrified at this point.
No, but
This is too good to eat. I don't know. Can we order Burger King?
Who made this?
Domino's menu.
pathetic. All right, so this is a very quick, simple sauce, and it's actually my favorite. Of all the sauces I've made, this is my favorite, and it's so easy. So throw some oil in a saucepan. Olive oil is a very important ingredient. You want to buy good quality olive oil, and if you don't know the differences, at least look for extra virgin olive oil. It's called Evu. Okay.
Right. No, the only person who started calling it Evu was Rachel Ray.
Right.
Yeah. Don't go to get Spanish oil. It has a different acidity to it. Look for Californian or look for Italian. Okay.
My favorite store brand is Filippo Berrio.
Nice. There you go. That's a good one.
So you could go to Trader Joe's or you could go to Costco, and they have cheaper olive oil,
It's fine.
and it's delicious. Filippo Berrio is good, but it's not as robust as what you can get in other places. So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about as a stock store brand.
Yeah.
I will point out that I would not
they're much better.
I would not use the extra virgin. I would not use extra virgin on a sauce like this.
Really?
No.
Really? Why?
It's not made for that. It's too strong.
Okay.
You want the milder, in my opinion, of course. I like the milder one
All right.
for the sauce.
So Frank is correct, but what I'm going to show you is there's a way to cut that flavor and make it really enhance the sauce so that it doesn't overcome the sauce. But normally, what?
Secret.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to reveal the secret.
All right. So
Might
real
have to wait
quickly,
until next episode.
you want to do the secrets next episode? I can do that.
No, go ahead. We could do it. We could do it like one of those series on the History Channel. You know, get through about 5 minutes of stuff in an hour episode.
Yeah.
Next episode, what will we put in with the tomatoes?
All right. So quickly chop up an onion, medium-sized onion. Chop it up finely, and brown it in the saucepan in your olive oil. Okay. I keep my heat at a medium heat. I do not use a high heat.
Right.
So I allow the onions to brown slowly, and it might even take 20 minutes, and I'm okay with that.
Now, you're browning the onion separately, or you're doing it right in the sauce?
No, it's before the anything.
Before I put any sauce in.
Oil goes in, then the onions.
Right.
Brown.
Okay.
You don't want to brown them so much. You want to just soften them.
Right.
You want them, golden brown is really what you want. So you don't want any.
Frank just said.
Golden.
So
I mean,
now I also add, because I love garlic, I will add a lot of chopped garlic. So I will put a chopped clove of garlic, a medium clove, along with the onions, but only after the onions have done their browning.
He's got a question for you. He wants to know if you guys like infused garlic oils, like garlic infused or rosemary.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like them on breads, but certainly not when
in a
cooking.
sauce.
Yeah, not when you're cooking, because that
You
will.
want to control the amount of spicing you've got.
Yeah. So, again, remember, I'm cooking is more like what we call peasant cooking. It's very simple,
Right.
quick, and easy. All right. So I throw in the chopped garlic, and I add that to the mixture after the onions have begun to brown. And then I cut up about 5 full tomatoes, and I cut them up in big chunks, like about inch and a half. And then I throw them right in there, and I let them just cook for about 30 minutes. And then as the tomatoes are starting to break down, they're keeping their shape, but they're starting to break down. I add in another.
I have a question. Are these tomatoes just tomatoes or peeled tomatoes? Have they been?
They're just tomatoes.
Regular tomato, you chopped it up, has peel on it and everything.
Yeah, everything.
Ooh.
I'm kind of curious what a regular tomato actually is to you, Dan.
What do you mean? Just a regular?
There are various types of
tomatoes.
Well, I don't use plum tomatoes, if that's what you're asking.
because they have too thick a skin. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just use a regular round tomato that you can find anywhere that people throw in salads.
Please, not the
Okay.
tasteless one from the grocery store, right? Something that has flavor.
Yeah, because those are tasteless. Those are those horrible slicing tomatoes that
Yeah,
you use for BLTs, and yeah, those are.
Well, okay. Let me clarify. I would only buy for my sauces fresh organic tomatoes.
Okay, tomatoes on the vine, usually if you look for in a supermarket, tomatoes are
Correct.
the tastiest and
Yeah, there you go. Tomatoes and back. Campari tomatoes.
yeah, Campari tomatoes, but they're expensive.
I don't use Campari tomatoes. I prefer the round on the vine. So.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Okay, so I let the tomatoes work down. Towards the end, I throw in my garlic, and I throw in a generous handful of fresh basil. Some of it's chopped, some of it's not. Some of it's whole leaf, and I just throw it in. I stir it around, and that's it. That's my sauce. Okay?
You remove the stems from the fresh basil, right?
Well, yeah, of course. I won't use them.
Bolognese.
There are some people that put the stems in for some reason.
Oh, no. The stems are full of the acidity. You can't put the
Yeah,
stems.
that's what I figured. Okay.
That's not a bolognese sauce.
I didn't say I was making a bolognese sauce,
You
right?
say I'm making my favorite sauce, bolognese.
No, I didn't. I said I ate bolognese tonight.
I thought he said he was making his favorite sauce. Which
Yeah,
No.
I gotta say I don't remember hearing that. So
Oh, okay.
still haven't actually gotten to what he's calling his favorite sauce. So.
It's just, this is it. It's a simple, this is a very fast tomato sauce. This is it. I just described it to you. It's nothing more than what I just described to you.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
Wow. I am absolutely astounded that's I never expected that recipe. Wow.
Yeah. Now, I add salt and pepper to taste, okay? Now, here's how I serve my pasta, okay? I'm going to give you a generous bowl of pasta, okay? And on the side, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons and nothing more of this tomato sauce. So it's your choice on the side, yeah.
Okay.
On the bowl of pasta,
Okay.
I'm going to put a generous heaping portion of pasta, but on the side of your bowl, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of this pasta that I made. And it's up to you whether you want to stir it all up or just eat it slowly and mixing it at your leisure.
Wow.
I put 2 fresh pieces of basil in there as well, even though there's a lot of basil in the sauce. And of course, I always have fresh grated Parmesan cheese for you on top of your pasta. Okay.
Wow.
That's a very simple meal.
Yeah, and it is my all-time favorite sauce. It's quick to make, but I love the taste because.
What's the largest group you've ever cooked for?
14, 16 people?
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I think the same for me. So, how many were at Rennie's wedding? I cooked the chicken at his wedding, but.
What do you mean you cooked chicken then?
I made the lemon piccata chicken.
Really?
Yeah, the chicken piccata. You don't remember?
At the wedding or brought
Right at the wedding. I cooked it all for
I
everybody.
thought he did everything.
No, I made that fresh for everybody.
Wow.
Made a big
Right.
impression on Frank, apparently.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought all the food was good. So.
All right. So I always have insalata at every one of my meals. Again, I like simple salads. For me, a nice fresh lettuce, whether it's romaine, butter lettuce, and then I add carrots. I might put pieces of cucumber. I might put pieces of any vegetable that you like on a salad.
That you happen to have grown in your own backyard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I serve it with oil and lemon. And again, I just make a quick mixture, and oil, lemon, and garlic, and that's what I put over my salads.
Sure.
Simplice.
All right. What?
Simplice.
Yeah. Again, this is how I like to cook, and this is something that you don't have to be a great cook. and I think everybody can make this. And a lot of my friends have gone away and said, I didn't realize how simple pasta is to make. I didn't realize how simple it is to make a sauce.
Sure.
And again, sauces can be quite involved, but I prefer simple cooking. Now, if you go to Frank's house, Frank enjoys the process of making pretty involved dishes, and they're delicious. I don't enjoy that. I want to be talking to my friends. I want to be
clear. You don't enjoy the making, not the eating. The eating you enjoy.
No, I enjoy the making, but I enjoy the simple side of it. You know
I understand. But when you say, I'm just saying, when Frank does make his extravagant meals, you enjoy eating them.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. And then if we're down there, I help him prepare stuff and help him cut up stuff and all that. But he really does do a lot of involved dishes, and it's delicious. But for me, I prefer simple cooking. I prefer talking to my friends and just sitting there and drinking wine, listening to music. So
that's great.
So for me, that would be a sufficient meal. But a lot of my friends here in the U.S. Like protein. And so I have learned how to make protein fairly quickly. My favorite is fish. So I will poach.
I have a question. Is this the Dan hour, or is this us talking about food? Because my God, there's a lot of protein going on here.
Okay, so we're at 36 minutes, and Frank can't take it anymore. He wants.
I'm just wondering.
I think we're going to have to give Frank a little airing here. So Frank,
no, I'm just curious. If we're going to do
version of
that Dan likes.
So Frank, tell us what you would do before we get to the proteins. What would you do differently with the things that he was talking about?
I would not have made a sauce like that in any way, shape, or form, and he did not use the secret ingredient. So,
all right, what's the secret ingredient, Frank?
Well, believe it or not, it's carrots.
Oh, it's a different sauce, Frank.
It is a different sauce, but it makes a huge difference.
But I don't put it in all my sauces.
Yeah, I can see that.
I put it in many of my sauces.
Yeah. But the point is I would never make a sauce like that. I would make a much thicker sauce.
So I actually happen to agree with Frank. When I'm cooking sauce, I like it to be chunky and I like it to be thick and rich.
Yeah, exactly. And this is more of a lighter, fresh kind of summery pasta sauce.
And again, remember, I said to you, this is a simple way of cooking. It's my favorite way of eating.
There's a big difference. And if I'm going to make sauce, I'm going to make a thicker sauce.
And I make thicker sauce. The sauces I had tonight, a bolognese, it was very thick.
We're not saying that you don't make it. We just said I was thinking you were going to come up with that because I thought you were going to talk about your bolognese sauce, but no.
So, Frank, you talked about carrots. What format would you put the carrots into the sauce?
Very, very thinly shredded.
Shredded, okay. Yeah.
Super thin so they melt away into the sauce.
Pat says he doesn't eat seafood, so he would appreciate meatballs instead.
Oh, I make good meatballs.
Oh, I make a better meat protein than meatballs, believe me.
Yeah, my meatballs are famous. If they weren't weighed down by the sauce, they would float off the plate.
Wow. No, it's all about the flavor of the meatball.
When I was very young, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, and I saw The Godfather for the first time because it was my family's favorite.
You saw it at 3, 4, or 5?
What? Oh my God!
Nobody has a problem with that.
Hold on a second. No, I must have been older than that.
Baby, come here. I want you to learn about our family.
I saw The Godfather.
Sit on my lap, Vinny. Let's watch The Godfather together.
Shut up. I was 10 when it came out.
Why is that horse head on the bed, Grandpa?
So I was 10 or 11 when it came out, or actually, when was The Godfather out? 74 or 76?
76, I think.
74.
74. So I was like 8. And I did actually see it in the theater when it first came out. And one of the things that always made an impression on me was the scene where they're holed up in the house after the shooting. And Michael is learning how to make a sauce. So who was it? Clemenza was showing him. And now you put the meatballs into the sauce and you keep stirring. He's got this giant pot in front of him and he's cooking for the entire house. And that made quite an impression on me, beyond the fact that I had, an Italian side of the family with an Italian grandmother who, made all of the old country dishes like wrapped brajol. I always hated the pignoli nuts, so I never got that. But my aunt would make, pretty authentic Italian dishes, but this made a big impression on me. And as I got older and started actually, having people over to the house for parties and what have you, we would normally cook for 30 or 40 people. And things like meatballs were a staple. So, and as you say, Dan, I would love to have everybody sitting around the table talking while I'm making the meatballs in front of them. So that's a lot of fun. So
That's what I like.
tell us some of your stuff, how you prepare for a large gathering where the meat is concerned.
By the way, The Godfather was 1972.
Was it 72? I knew I was younger than that. Okay, so I must have been about 6.
So what was your question?
It's frightening that you were allowed to watch that movie at age 6.
My parents were very kind of laissez-faire about what they would take me to.
So what was your question? I didn't hear your question.
I was gonna. People are asking about the meatballs. You've got people salivating here in the chat room. Talk about.
Can I say something? I just want to say something. I don't make meatballs ever because it's a perception that this is what Italians eat. And honestly, in Italy, you very rarely will see meatballs.
Wrong. You will see meatballs in the South.
In the South. But where we're from, you don't see them. Yeah. So, and I've had a lot of friends that are like, wow.
Lots of red sauce up north neither. You're going to see that in the South.
That is correct.
Actually, so basically Sicily.
North, you're going to get the white sauce. You're going to get risotto,
Lamb sauce.
Yeah. So it's just a different way of eating, and it's one that I prefer to eat.
So you'll notice that's why I asked Frank and not you.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Frank.
Go ahead, Frank. You have the spotlight is now on you.
I'm sorry. What was the question again? You want to know how I make meatballs?
How would you prepare and make your meatballs?
Very simple. I barely even remember what it is, but I literally
take that's how simple it is.
Ground meat, and I will literally take an egg, throw it in there. I will throw like a quarter cup of Parmigiano Reggiano.
This is your meatball.
Yeah.
This is what you working for the Olive Garden?
Listen carefully.
Yeah.
And then I will throw in a half a cup of panko. If I don't have panko on hand, I'll use some Italian breadcrumbs, but I really like the panko.
The breadcrumbs have to speak Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't put sausage in your meatball?
No, would be a sausage meatball. This is a meatball.
Yeah, I don't put sausage in my meatballs either.
No, when I make a meatball, I grind it up with sausage.
I do things that no one else usually does, and that's what I'm trying to get to, but we'll get to that.
Very slowly you are, yes, go ahead.
So just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, just to flavor it. But the spice, maybe some, I usually will use like either rosemary or thyme or a mix of the both, sometimes some oregano. Like to put some spices in there. But what I use that most people would never use is a ton of nutmeg grated in, and a quarter pound of chopped very, very finely, like super fine mortadella.
Okay.
Mix it all together. Make your little balls, and I bake them in the oven 15 minutes, and they're done. And they freeze beautifully. Yeah. And they're so easy, it takes no time at all. Literally, in the time that Dan's still kneading his bread, I'm done. They're out of the oven. That's how you make a quick, easy, delicious meatball.
Right. Yeah, my meatballs take a lot more prep than that.
Yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You still get a great flavor from simplicity.
So we're going to have to trade meatballs at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the most interesting things about meat in Italian cooking is a specific type of meat called chicken steak.
Yeah.
And most people, you say chicken steak to somebody, they have no idea what you're talking about. And what it really is a cut of good quality beef that you let cook for a long time in the sauce until the meat's almost completely broken down, and it literally flakes apart when you try to eat it, and that's chicken steak.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because the recipe I was going to tell you about that I would have made was ossobuco.
Yeah.
And ossobuco. Do you know what ossobuco means?
I don't remember.
Dan, do you know?
Why don't you enlighten us, Frank?
It actually literally means a bone with a hole. I love that name. Because that's what, you use beef shanks or veal shanks in it, and that's literally just a small round bone with a big hole in it.
Right.
But I love making it super simple, super fast. You let it cook for a couple hours. You whip up some risotto mayonnaise to go with it. You're done. So I love simple cooking too, but mine is a little more elevated.
For anybody who prepares large batches of chopped meat, I've been asked, because I do everything, and I've been asked many times, what's the difference between meatloaf, meatballs, and simple burgers that you make out of ground beef? And there's one basic difference that I use in this, and it's you do meatballs with my secret batch of stuff. Yeah. If you're making a meatloaf, you add ketchup. If you're making burgers, you add barbecue sauce. That's the basic difference between the three types of what you do with chopped meat.
But to me, the big difference here would be that the burger is just pure meat. That's it. I'm not adulterating the meat in any way other than maybe a little salt and pepper.
I agree with Frank on that.
Whereas the meatballs are, as I told you, you add a few extra things in to get them, nice and light.
While I enjoy burgers that are plain and just with some salt, garlic and onion powder maybe or something like that, I also make what's called Vinny burgers, and they're made very thickly with ingredients including egg and barbecue sauce and the whole and breadcrumbs.
Wow.
And you put these on the barbecue, and they come out, they're an incredible consistency.
Interesting.
So, and
I make
like 60 people at a barbecue sometimes.
So. I make a burger. It's not really a burger. We call them polpette, and it's ground beef with garlic and parsley, and you fry it in a pan on the stove, but it's breaded. And when I make those, I generally make a really healthy portion, and most of my friends will eat 3 or 4 of them at a sitting.
And I don't even like them. I never liked them. They're meh. I'd rather have a simple burger over that any day. No, I know a lot of my family members loved it, but not me.
Yeah.
You mentioned meatloaf, which is interesting because I don't make meatloaf. I made it before, and it's always meh.
Yeah, I make it very rarely, but I make a joke out of it, which that is the actual difference between the various.
Yeah, see, for me, in my meatloaf, I don't put ketchup on, but I do put strips of bacon on top of it, which the fat.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
But I will make an Italian meatloaf called polpettone, which is way better, and it's absolutely delicious. But my meatballs are derived from the polpettone.
Sure.
Yeah, and the polpettone, to make it correctly, is a lot of work.
No, it's not. I made it 1,000 times. Why is it a lot of work?
You have to wrap it. You have to wrap it and then boil it, and then
you don't wrap it at all.
You don't wrap it in the gauze?
Polpettone in gauze?
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Fry it up in a pan.
I hate that kind of cooking. That's something that, yes, is very
No, I know
popular.
what he's thinking of. It's not that at all. You're thinking about salame verde.
No, that's not even meat.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I would ever wrap up in cheesecloth.
I didn't say cheesecloth. Our mother used to wrap it up. Remember before she fried it?
Am I missing something? I thought you said wrap it up in cheesecloth.
No, again, you're hearing things. You're making these things up.
I said cloth. I thought you said wrap it up in cloth.
She used to wrap up the polpettone and fry it wrapped.
No, never in a million years. She tied them. She would tie them because she didn't want them to fall apart. But if you just brown them each side.
Show of hands, tying and wrapping. Does that sound similar to people?
No.
Yeah, well.
The cloth.
I didn't say cloth. You're coming up with the word cloth.
You did say the word cloth.
What?
I did?
You actually used the word cloth?
Yes, you literally said, they're wrapped up in cloth. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah, she had that wide cloth. Remember that?
No.
Yes, it was. It was wide cloth.
Never happened.
It was dirty. It was hard to clean.
The only time she used the cloth was salame verde and the cheesecloth. And that was it. And by the way, salame verde, what a dish. Oh, my God. I'm looking for an excuse to make it.
A lot of work, though. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It's more work than any of these other ones.
Yeah.
But what a dish.
That's an amazing dish, yeah.
It is a showstopper.
So one of the things that you haven't even touched on in cooking altogether is working with mozzarella cheese, either for lasagna or baked ziti. How do you?
I did it
What are
today
your
in
favorite?
a caprese salad. I had a caprese salad with just tomatoes and mozzarella.
That sounds great.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Dan, do you work with mozzarella at all?
Not much. Not my favorite cheese.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love mozzarella.
I have never made a lasagna.
Never.
Never.
Really?
Wow, I make the one.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. We didn't grow up eating a lot of lasagna, and
She used to make that one lasagna all the time. I loved it.
and I didn't eat it.
You had one lasagna, it lasted 10 years? Is
Hey,
that-
you did not eat that lasagna. The one with the green pasta. Come on.
Oh no, the one with the green pasta I liked. I
That's
didn't like
the one we love. That's the one she made.
That was different. She put more meat sauce in that one. The other one I didn't care for.
The meat sauce. What other one? What other lasagna does she ever make?
She made the one with the regular noodles, not the green noodles.
Rarely.
What were they, spinach noodles?
Yeah. Oh, my mother used to make spinach noodles all the time.
Finish.
I don't remember ever seeing, or she made them fresh. I don't remember ever seeing lasagna with spinach noodles.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's fantastic. I can make it, and trust me, it is out of this world. But it is a lot of work.
Abby makes a very good lasagna. She, obviously she loves ricotta cheese as well, and that's kind of her specialty.
Yeah, see, I don't like the ricotta cheese as much. I like it in some things and cooking with it, but in lasagna, I'm like, it's overdone.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of ricotta either.
Okay, interesting.
More of a northern style lasagna. A little
Pat
lighter.
says even he made lasagna last weekend.
Really?
We didn't grow up with it much, and I didn't.
And
I've
then,
never been a fan.
I'll come up with one more thing to kind of throw by you since we mentioned sausage before. My favorite Italian meal of all time is sausage and peppers.
Nice.
Yeah.
In various different ways, but I like it when the sweet sausage whole, really long pepper strips along with it, big fat chunks of onion, and lots of garlic, and normally I'll put it into sauce. So I'll actually, bake it. First I'll brown the sausage, then I'll bake it in the sauce, and it just comes out. The sausage comes out ridiculously soft.
Yeah, I like that, but as a sandwich.
Yeah, well, certainly. The problem I have with sandwiches is that you always end up with too much bread to meat ratio.
Yeah,
You have to end up
pull
with,
the bread out.
yeah, you got to carve the bread out, right? Because otherwise you can't fit enough meat on there.
Right.
Darren Watts always used to have a joke with this. Whenever you would serve him pizza or a meatball sub or something like that, he would always call the bread the meat delivery product or mechanism, a meat delivery mechanism. He had no respect for bread,
I do like sausage, but I like sausage like made with rapini or with polenta.
Yep,
See,
got
a
some
lot of-
comments here.
A lot of people don't eat polenta. I love polenta.
Yeah.
Italians eat polenta.
Pat says his lasagna was okay, but it could have used some Italian expertise. So, next road trip, Glenn Andy here.
Call the hotline. We'll help you out. Don't worry.
Right. We'll hook you up. Glenn Andy says my favorite to make is chicken marsala with wild mushroom risotto.
Nice. Delicious. Oh,
Chicken piccata.
risotto.
And then Pat says sausage and peppers sounds amazing. Pat, you've never had sausage and peppers? Seriously?
What? I haven't lived.
Yeah, seriously. Where have you been? Under a rock? It's,
Pat, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of sausage and peppers.
okay.
I mean, they're okay, but it's not my go-to.
Okay, that's my go-to, but I love all sorts of Italian cooking. I mean, I would love to try some of the simple stuff that you were talking about, Dan. But again, I also like complex meals, and especially when I'm cooking for 30 to 40 people at a time, it's interesting to actually make all sorts of things. Have everybody pitch into the various cutting and
That makes it fun.
topping.
Yeah, that does make it fun. Everybody's involved, and now they feel like they're part of it. And so I serve a poached fish, and I make my own mayonnaise on the fish. And you should see everybody's expression when I say, I'm going to serve you fish with mayonnaise. They're thinking mayonnaise that you get out of a jar, Hellman's mayonnaise.
Right.
But I make it, mine comes out, it's a bright yellow, it's lemony, it's delicious.
Right.
And
it's awesome on fish.
It is awesome on fish. And I've had so many of my friends that are like, that's the best thing I've learned from you is your mayonnaise, and it's so simple, and you can whip it up in like 5 minutes, and it's delicious. It's
so
just...
Pat says he'll work at the R&R booth in exchange for food.
I do that a lot, actually.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes here. Does anybody else in the audience there have any questions for Frank or Dan? Any topical stuff? Italian cooking? R&R games. We'll just, there's a 10-second delay for the chat room.
Is it really?
All right, so Andy's asking, what are your favorite Italian desserts?
Tiramisu.
Yeah, tiramisu, definitely.
That's the same for me.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed on that. As a matter of fact, we've been out together in an Italian restaurant. We all get the tiramisu.
Yeah.
But there's so many good ones. I mean, there's countless ones that you can pick. They're all good. Monte Bianco is another one.
So I'll tell you a funny story. My mom used to make this chocolate mountain made out of...
Monte Bianco.
Monte Bianco. I heard you, Frank.
I just said that.
Okay, but the audience doesn't know what Monte Bianco is. I'm trying to describe it.
Well, let's start with this. Oh, yeah, Monte Bianco. That's right.
Well, why don't you tell the story, Frank?
I will. You know why? Because I'm the one who came up with it.
The story?
Yes.
Yeah. TikTok, guys. Somebody tell the story.
Okay, so the story basically goes, it's a holiday, and I asked my mother to make Monte Bianco. She made a beautiful Monte Bianco. And we have a feast, and my younger brother is really eating a lot. He's tired. He wants to take a nap. So he goes and take a nap in the room across the way. We're all kind of in this big kitchen, all eating at the big kitchen table. And it comes to me that it's getting time to have the dessert. Everyone's still hungry, wants to have it. So we bring it out, and I said, well, wait, before we do this, let's do one thing. So I get plates in front of everyone, and I get some shaving cream, a little shaving cream, because it's got whipped cream in there for the snow and powdered sugar. And I get some cocoa or mix it all up and just kind of stand in there, on the dish. And I give everyone a spoon, and I say, okay, let's start. And we hide the real Monte Bianco around the corner. And we all start going, oh, this is delicious. And we're eating it like this. Like a bolt of lightning, the door flings open, and my brother comes out of there, and he's looking at it. It's like, you ate it without me? Oh, my God. And so he literally grabs the plate from my father. No, my father's like licking it like this. And then he grabs my plate, and he's like, oh, my God. He grabs a spoon, and he's about to eat it. We're like, wait. He's like, what? Oh, my God, what is this? We totally had him. We totally got him. But that's how popular this was. It would disappear in seconds because people would eat it and it'd be gone.
Sure.
So that's not the story I was going to tell.
That's not the story. All right, go ahead, Dan.
I thought that was the story.
So what this is, you grind up chestnuts and you mix it with cocoa and you create this mountain that looks like, again, a volcano, and you put whipped cream on top and it drips down from the top.
Lots of rum.
So my mother, it's a lot of work, and my mother brought it out. And she had this little pantry area, and she put it on the table, and she said, start serving yourself. Well, we started serving ourselves, and it was like a mad dash. We're all fighting for our piece, and we forgot to cut her a piece. And we ate the entire dessert, and she had none.
Oh, boy.
Pretty sure
But the next day,
involved in that one.
The next day, we made her another one, and we were not allowed to have any of it. She ate it all by herself. Yeah.
I don't know that.
She was so angry at us. And we were just, because we were like rabid animals, it was such good food that.
Yeah, this was before my time.
Yeah.
Frank was involved.
So Pat says, great to see you guys again. Thanks for the laughs. You certainly made his night. We are going to have to cut this. We got about a minute left. to our hour format. Dan, Frank, thank you so much. I really miss you guys and hanging out with you, and I'm glad that we have these opportunities to have these chats, and certainly with some of our friends in the audience. This will be posted onto the Envoy Gateway for everybody to see later on who couldn't join us tonight. And hopefully we'll have you back next month in November, and we'll pick a topic and figure out what we'd like to do next. But we're having a lot of fun with this. Thank you, everybody in the audience, and good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. All right. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe.
All righty.